Hi, this is Maria with Petals on Water. I am trying this video for the third time at a different angle. Kind of show you some of the noises you hear in the background when I'm out here. These are my drakes, but as you can tell, these are not the noise maker. I'm going to take you around here, much to the drake's chagrin. Oh, they're going to follow me. And these are my hens. Rosie is the one with the white band on her neck. You might have seen it quickly. There she is. Hi, Rosie. And then Fonny's back there being noisy. She's our talker. And I think she might be head goose or head duck. She's not actually a goose, but she wonks like one. And then these are my drakes again. And I have trouble differentiating unless I get a really good look at their bills. That's how I tell them apart. We keep swearing we're going to get leg bands for them, but there's always the problem of how are we going to get them on the legs. They don't like being handled as much as the girls. So these are a big part of my life. Yes, with or without dissociation, they would be. I actually got them before I knew I was dissociated. If I'd gotten them, I don't think I would have gotten them if I realized what this was going to be like, because there's a lot of work involved and a lot of extreme temperatures that I have to endure, and sometimes my body just cannot take it. So this is my farm. I live out here, mostly because the city was just too hard for me. Despite the fact science says this does not exist, I am actually very electromagnetically sensitive. I can feel a difference between the country and the city. And honestly, I mean, it's probably a very large difference because if you look, even though there's fog, okay, there is nothing but field over there. I can probably see a good mile away. Nothing but field. My house, there is trees, but then again, nothing but field for probably about a mile. My nearest neighbor might be like a quarter of a mile away, and the other one's probably closer to a mile. So, and all the electricity for this house is in the ground rather than being strung overhead. So, literally, the difference in electrical energy surrounding me right at this instant is probably virtually nil. So wow, that's a lot about me and not a lot about dissociation. And I think part of the reason is because the first video I made earlier was just completely depressing. I have been through yet another shock related to the trauma that kind of brought my dissociation to the fore. And it's been kind of laying me out. I am afraid that another altar has been formed from the latest happening because I had a very unpleasant sensation when it happened. Felt a lot like I was being ripped. And would never know how to explain that to someone. Because it's not physical, but I felt like I was being ripped. And then to make matters worse, another altar came out. I've actually had two come out from this whole thing recently, and neither one of them were entirely pleasant. So I don't know that they were actually superly unpleasant, but I don't know. They seemed to not be good signs in my opinion. Almost everyone else that's come out has been in some way helpful to the system's survival in the real world, and these are the first that really are showing signs of mental duress beyond holding a feeling. Someday I'll have to sit down and do an actual factual video of all the terms that surround DID. But I haven't really been up to it. Every time I think about doing it, it's just so daunting. And I think this is because the emotions are just so high in general for me right now. One of the things we did do on a lighter note was that we did take a Pottermore quiz to sort ourselves into the houses, and that was actually pretty interesting. It's been one of those things where different dissociated YouTubers have been doing it. And, like them, I thought it was fun. So, a fun idea. So, we did it. Everybody was voluntary. I have to force anyone. So, that was pretty cool. I sort of expected everybody's answers to be very, very, very similar. Because I'm still struggling with the whole, are we, aren't we concept. For whatever reason. Well, and actually, we sort of talked about why that might be, and they were encouraging me to actually take it as well as an individual. One of my big struggles has been, if I acknowledge that I'm an alter too, if I acknowledge that I am usually co-conscious with at least one other alter in order to make it through my day, how does that diminish me? The person who identifies as Maria. How does that change things for me? Am I a real alter? Am I some kind of strange fragment? Am I just literally a combination of everyone and not really my own person? And so that makes me very scared, and it makes me basically want to deny everything else that's going on, despite the fact that anymore half the time I'm left-handed and the other half I'm right. I still don't write well left-handed, but that'll happen in time. I'm pretty sure my lefties are not leaving me alone on that one. So so they suggested that I take the Pottermore quiz, which I thought was really, really sweet. They because they said, we know there's this friction, and we think part of it is you don't feel like one of us. And of course that makes sense, because for the longest time, while we knew you were, you didn't know you were. And that really does make a difference. This is my Cinderella flock, I like to call them. They almost have zero fear of me, and I half expected them to start perching on my shoulders at some point. They live in the rafters, actually. But so, it was really, really a very nice kind of thing to do, because it did make me feel included, and it did help me because my answers were different too. 3 of us ended up in Hufflepuff, and there were some similarities. There were a few places where we were all kind of on the same page. One of the things they remarked upon was that there was an alter who integrated, and they were pretty sure she would have come out with some really different answers, although they didn't feel like she would have been in Slytherin, for example. But she's just a little more nature oriented than almost everybody else. So 3 of us, including myself, were Hufflepuffs, which I took the test before I knew I was dissociated, and I was a Hufflepuff. But the 2 that were really interesting were the ones who were different. One of them was a Ravenclaw, which wasn't really a surprise. I swear sometimes I think she's got Vulcan ears, because she's just very much my rational, logical, detached from emotion person. And then there was my Gryffindor, and that was my poet, who the common phrase is, she's amazing when she's up, but when she's down, whoo, boy, typical poet, she'll really hit the basement for you, I guess. So, but she was my Gryffindor, and honestly, she's been one of my most recent arrivals. She's been there for a very, 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 very long time, and actually there's 3 of them that hang out together, and it's evident because they'll all come out around the same time. And there's a lot of joshing and fun to be had when the 3 of them come out, because there's a lot of switching, and it's not difficult switching. Some people, when I switch between them, it is so hard. It is draining. And the 3 of them just effortlessly, boom, boom, boom. So I suspect they have co-hosted with me a lot, and have gotten to know each other that way. And it sort of makes sense, because it's my whimsical side, my intellectual side, and my poetic side. And there you go, right there, Maria in a nutshell. Don't ask me what side I am. I'm just, Maria, which is a really, really weird feeling. So this whole situation's been interesting. Some very, very, I don't know. I mean, it's literally like having a family inside your head, an extended family, but family nevertheless. Recently, I've had a lot of older people resurface, which is kind of nice, although a little bit daunting. I have a non-human alter that is a cat, and very recently, the cat is actually one of my protectors, and I was in a situation where I felt I needed protecting, and they came out. Like I said, I haven't seen them or felt them for ages. They came out, and we as a collective system, there was a few of us up front. It was a very stressful situation. Went to go take a drink of water, and the cat began, as I tilted the cup back, the cat began lapping. And I'm here to tell you right now, never try to lap your drinking water when it's in a glass. I don't know how it works in a bowl. I've never tried in a bowl so far as I can remember. But in a glass, it does not work. Here I am. There's a stressful situation going on, and I'm choking on water. It was kind of comical in a weird, dark, strange way. So, I had another old protector show up. I have not seen her for ages. So evidently a lot of people who've been lying dormant have popped out, and evidently I've needed them, which I can't say I disagree. I've sort of wondered where a lot of them went. I think as my life changed and my challenges changed, the old ways of doing things, like when I was a kid, when I was alone, also shifted. So they weren't appropriate for being a mother, being surrounded by people 24/7. I needed an entirely different set of qualifications. So these guys were not it. They're obviously my more wild side, especially the cat. And even my older protector, she is not afraid to speak out about what she's angry about and how she feels, and she doesn't pull punches. Quite vociferous, in fact. Hang on, truck. We have a major grain company that is our neighbors, about, a quarter mile down. So there are semis that go by in the middle of the night. They're usually out working. It's actually kind of cool because they do a lot of their work in the evening when the farmers are coming back from their day jobs. And but like they'll lay their manure at night, which means I don't have to smell it during the day when I'm out with my ducks. So that's kind of cool. But it's noisy, and they're big money farmers, so lots of big vehicles, lots of noise. So anyway, my dissociation. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, so I switched out. I'm pretty sure. Whoop, don't fall. Crazy duck. And sorry. I'm trying not to sound different. Sometimes it's a little hard. I think we did it better before she knew about us. So, but now we've gotten kind of used to being out by ourselves, and so we're falling into our own voices more and more often. A lot of us, I think, do sound like her. and you can really, sometimes you can only tell by the language that we use. So I'm a lot less formal, and you were just talking to one of our more formal alters. And I age slide, so sometimes I'm young, and I don't know that I actually become that much older, but I have been a co-host for not as long as we've been split, but for as long as we've really had to operate in the world outside on our own. But after the really huge trauma. So I've probably been here since she was, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that. So I've been around for a while. And I've kind of grown up with her without actually growing up. So for a lot of times, those of you who know me well that are watching, and you have seen me get all excited and geeked and acting like a 5-year-old, well, that was partially me. It wasn't all me, but it was partially me. But like, I know how to drive, and I think a lot of times when she doesn't understand what's going on with our system, I do, and I will show up. And so it might be why I'm here, but I'm not sure. It could just be that I wanted to watch the truck go by. There's no real telling what'll pop us out anymore. It can be really disconcerting sometimes, and not just for her, but for us, because if she's not what we call Beetlejuicing us, which is like talking about us, which then it's like someone calling your name over and over again, and you're like, what are you talking about? Why are you talking about me, right? If she's not Beetlejuicing us, her coming out, her dragging us out, or us coming out on her, can be very disorienting for all concerned, because we might not know where we're at, or what we're doing, or what we're saying, or anything. And that's kind of scary. I think we're fortunate because we are co-conscious so often. So usually a lot of us are on the same page. But as we realize, hey, we can run around on our own, we really do kind of run around on our own honor. We try to leave her close to the driver's seat. But, past few days, not so much. Which I think is why she went to a "Don't Look at Me" video. I think she's really, really struggling. Which maybe I wasn't supposed to tell you that. I don't know. And to be perfectly honest, I forget what we were trying to do here. I was showing you the ducks. Okay, so folks, this is dissociation right here. I'm already starting to forget why I popped out. Sometimes you can hold on to it for a little bit. So if you can keep the train running on the same tracks, you can keep it going, but you have to kind of know what you were doing in the first place. And I really was not. I was up all night playing a game, the new Pokemon game. So I don't think I've been out today. I think this is me waking up. And we do that. I came out the other night, and I guess she had fallen asleep, and her oldest was like, what are you doing? Because like I leaped out of bed, I was ready to go. She was like, what? Whoa, wait, what? Whoa, what? And I'm like, hey, let's go get food. And she was like, you were just asleep. I was like, no, I was really? I was asleep? No, I wasn't asleep. Yes, you were. Okay, well, you know what? I'm hungry though. Let's go eat. So, it's probably a little weird to live with us too. I try not to do this around other people, but you know, we're out here alone all the time. I mean, there's like nobody, right? I've been holding you in one position. I'm sorry. Probably going to go through. Probably have to do this all over again. But probably without the ducks, you just can't ignore the ducks. Everybody loves the ducks. They're such pretty boys. Hang on and listen to this for a second. These guys are like waddling AMSR. Seriously. You come, you listen to them, you feel soothed, even if they're not really doing anything incredibly interesting. So anyway, my guess is she was probably talking a little bit about all the changes that have been going on with us, and we've had a bunch of different people come out. Wow. We actually had one that, and this is almost kind of scary. So like, we had a persecutor come out, and she was scary. She was scary enough that, there was some defending going on internally. And then, the thing is though, is that the most recent thing that happened actually brought out someone who guards a part of our inner world that is just horrifying and actually scarier than the persecutor, even though they are not out to hurt us. So it's been pretty bizarre in here. I don't know if she actually wanted me to tell you that, but I guess that's the way it is. I just spilled the beans. You may get this, you may not get this, because they may go, Lacey, really? Oops. See. So this is Lacey, and I better stop, because seriously, they're probably going to lose their minds. But anyway, it was nice talking to you if I get out there. So take care. Bye.